guys! Today I want to talk to you about hand lettering, which is one of my favourite hobbies, and I was requested to make a video about this a while ago. I think it was after I'd made my video about the workshop that I did with Jessica Heish, who is an awesome hand lettering artist. But anyway, today I thought I'd make a video with a few tips for getting started with hand lettering if that's something that you're interested in getting into yourself. I want to start this by saying that I am not good at drawing, so if you're not good at drawing either, then don't let that hold you back. Because I love typography and I love letter forms and learning about them, I found that I have been able to teach myself how to draw letters, even if I can't draw anything else to save my life. I should also say that I am definitely not a master at hand lettering by any means. There's a million people out there who are better at it than me, so if you're looking at tips for how to become a master, then I suppose this isn't the video for you. But if you're interested in picking it up as a hobby, then that's definitely something I can help you get started with. The idea behind hand lettering is obviously to draw letters, so before you get taken in with all the decorations and the swashes, it's best to first learn how letters are formed. So instead of jumping straight in and starting with a word or a phrase, I highly recommend just drawing some letters first, perhaps copying a script or a calligraphy font. That will get you used to how the letters flow and how they curve, and then you'll be able to start putting them together and making actual words from them. Basically, you need to understand how the bones of the letters work before you can go adding to them and making them look all fancy. And the more you practice those basic letter forms, the more natural your hand lettering is going to look. Drawing in stages is something that I learned at that workshop that I went to with Jessica Heish. She really opened my eyes to the fact that all those amazing finished pieces we see out there started in pretty much the same way. They all started with the bones of the letter forms, and then they had the thicks and the thins added, and then all the decorations and the colour, and then you get the finished product. So the point there is to get the letter forms right first before you go adding in any fancy finishing touches. I've collated a bunch of awesome hand lettering pieces on a Pinterest board that I like to use as reference sitting there on my iPad when I sit down to draw. I definitely don't recommend copying someone else's work to learn from, because like I said before, those finished pieces you see did start out as just the bones, so if you're going to try and copy the finished piece, that's not going to turn out well. But what you can try and do is copy individual elements and try and work them into your work and put your own spin on them. Hand lettering is honestly all about practice. The saying practice makes perfect definitely applies here, so don't get discouraged if your first few attempts just look absolutely terrible and you end up throwing them out. I've got so many hand lettering pieces that I haven't even finished because I just got to a stage where I couldn't be bothered with them anymore, they just weren't going right. But that's okay, because it's something that everyone goes through when you're learning. As for the tools, when I first started practicing, I just used a regular pencil and eraser, nothing fancy at all. I did like to use a light pencil, like maybe a 2H, so that it was really easy to rub out when I made mistakes. These days though, I really like using a mechanical pencil to draw with because it's always sharp and you can always like stay in that flow and not have to stop to go and sharpen your pencil. And instead of a regular eraser now, I really like using this moldable one. First off, it doesn't leave little rubber shavings everywhere, and also you can pull bits off and try and use it to get really clean, fine lines. A little metal ruler is handy to keep around as well. I don't use this for drawing letter forms themselves, I prefer to do them freehand for obvious reasons, but I do use this constantly to get the baseline and the X height of my letters so I can keep them approximately the same size. I've experimented with a few different pens, but my favourite ones are the Artline 200 0.4 nib, and I also really love the Micron pens. This one here has a crazy fine tip so you can get really precise lines. Some last pieces of advice I'd give is to pick really short words or phrases to practice with, that way you won't spend too long labouring over a single piece. And if you come across a letter that you find really difficult to get right, don't avoid it. In fact, the opposite, you should embrace it and keep trying to purposefully pick words and phrases that include that letter so you can get better at it. And for me, that is S's and C's. I find the curves really hard to get right all the time. If you've been wanting to get into hand lettering, then I hope this video was helpful. Honestly, the best thing you can do is just start. Just pick up a pencil and get practicing and give it a go. If there's anything that you'd be interested in knowing about my hand lettering process that I didn't cover, or if there's any particular advice you're looking for, then please leave it as a comment down below and we can have a chat. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're new, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Bye!